Here's New York's finest climbing into windows in the halls and dorms of Columbia University in order to extract protesters that have clearly broken the law, broken windows, vandalized, prevented the free movement of people, chanted anti-Semitic slogans, and engaged in a little minor insurrection in the halls of the Ivy League University. And I say, good. Good for finally attacking this problem. Better late than never. Now, my friend asked me, why do these protesters get such different treatment? Likely the same people as BLM during the famed Summer of Love. The reason, of course, is because those engaged in protests for Saint Fentanyl Floyd were tasked, essentially, with removing Trump from office, cause enough political instability, cause people to fear, and those in power are the ones that get blamed. Certainly, the man highest at the totem pole is the first to fall. That was their purpose. It was said so in a Time magazine article where they stated that essentially the protests, the insurrection, was controlled by the Democrat elites that were planning this along with the leaders of the protest movement. Now suddenly, the little monster that they created has grown, and it will negatively affect Joey Biden as he runs for re-election. Whether or not he actually remains the party's on the party's ticket at the head, I'm not so sure about that. But regardless, it does negatively affect the Democrats because people will rightfully see them as those who control the strings. Because do we think that anybody in Columbia University is on the right who's in charge? No, this can be squarely laid at their feet that they are allowing these hateful anti-Semitic protests, which, by the way, in terms of the First Amendment, I 100% support your right to say these hateful, bigoted things so that we can understand exactly who you are. But when you prevent people from moving around, when you threaten the Jewish students, when you have signs saying Al-Qassam's next targets, Al-Qassam being the Hamas military wing, when you chant pro-terrorist chants, go Hamas, we are Hamas, then you are, in many of these cases, breaking the law and certainly breaking social norms as to what is acceptable. And again, if these were KKK members that were out there protesting blacks, inhibiting blacks from moving around campus freely, there would be no negotiation. There would be no discussion of intent. No, they would be thrown out on their asses. They would be arrested. There would be no discussion about grade of offense. These people would be deemed by the media to be the Donald Trump MAGA racist. But now they cannot claim that as easily. Of course, they're going to try, but they can't really make that case. So now they have to do something. And this is why these protesters, these little Marxists, are getting the different treatment than was afforded to the BLM rioters. And speaking of that, I don't even understand how these people, I've been to many communist countries. I actually lived in the Czech Republic, obviously former communist, but you can see on the people's faces the marks of communism and the scars that it left. They have in Prague the monument to communism that sits in the center of the city on Pechin Hill. And in it, you can see the forlorn figures of men, thin, hunched over, cut in half. And this is what these young, privileged students are advocating for. It's so stupid. You can't go to a single communist country that has yielded good results unless you count good results in terms of the number of dead citizens at their doorsteps, that they are personally responsible from mass shootings to mass starvations to being thrown into the gulags for slave labor. It's kind of like you see the results, yet you continue to advocate for it. Why not just continue to seed the ground with salt and wonder why you're not getting crops, and then go ahead and continue to call, we just need more salt. We did not seed the ground with enough salt or in the correct way. No, it's a recipe for disaster and will always yield the same results. Tried over and over again, and yet you agitate for it. And anyways, while I respect that you have the right to say it, and I will defend your right to do so, you don't get to disrupt other people's lives. You don't get to vandalize. You don't get to call for the deaths of Jewish people. And again, the reason that you're being arrested right now is because you're not agitating against Donald Trump. You're agitating against the Democrats and the uni-party and the power that they hold on America, and thus they must do something about it, rather, as they did in the Summer of Love, to encourage it.